Ebony, thank you so much for being with us, and I'm so sorry for what you and your family are going.
아이고야. 안녕하세요. 매일매일 운동하기를 추천하고 있는 동탄 왕코입니다. 지금 아침인데 오늘도 영어학원을 가는 날이 아니에요. 근데 좀 늦잠을 자가지고 서둘러야겠습니다. 운동을 하고 회사를 출근을 해야겠죠. 아휴.
You lived with your parents, and I know you saw that they weren't doing well. You actually drove each of them to the hospital just 2 days apart, and one of the things that is a blessing if somebody's life is ending is one's ability to spend time with them. COVID robs us of that ability in the final days. I mean, you dropped your mom off. Were you ever able to be with her again?
So they let you, when they think that maybe you're, I mean the hospital, when they think that maybe they're going to pass, they're not going to make it, they do FaceTime you. So I was able to see her via FaceTime, but she didn't look like herself. She wasn't really coherent anyway. So, I mean, I wish I didn't really have to see that. But my brother, he did, with his family, get to say goodbye to her via Skype, or not via Skype, via, what do you call it?
FaceTime.
FaceTime, thank you. And with my dad, I dropped him off first, and no, I got to talk to him before he was intubated and sedated, and that was it. I never talking to him or got an update through the doctors.
Were your parents aware that each of them was in a hospital?
Yes.
I mean, that the other was in a hospital?
Yes, so I dropped my dad off first, and then that day that I dropped him off, my mom actually came home from work sick, and she wasn't feeling well. And then that night was just really bad for her. She was throwing up and couldn't keep anything down, had a fever, and so I took her in the next day. So they both knew that they were each other was in the hospital. My mom actually, her heart stopped when she was talking to my dad. The first time her heart stopped. Yeah, so yeah, they were communicating in the hospital, and yeah, my dad was aware that my mom passed. Yeah.
I mean, it all happened so quickly too. I mean, they were in there, and then, I mean, it was a matter of days.
For my mom, yes, she went in Wednesday and she passed Saturday. But she had a type of blood cancer, she had asthma, she had other issues where we knew her immune system was compromised. But my dad, other than having diabetes, he didn't really have any health issues. He's never even been hospitalized any day of my life that I can remember. So we really thought he was going to pull through. But we kind of understood it would be a long haul for my mom, but she passed quickly. And my dad, he hung in there for a while. He passed on July 29th, but she passed on July 18th.
So 11 days apart from each other.
Yep. Yeah, and I just we can't make sense of it, but we kind of think of it like maybe he didn't want to be here without her, because he'd always said he didn't want to be here. He wanted to go first because he didn't want to be here without her. Yeah.
And have you buried them?
Yes, we did yesterday.
Yesterday, wow. How was that?
It was hard. It was a beautiful day. My older brother and sister, they had to speak because I couldn't get through it. And it was hard for my grandmother because she buried her child.
Wow, your grandmother was there.
Yes, yeah, her first child to pass, and it was hard because they made everybody feel like family, so everybody felt it. It was different because we couldn't have a service. We had to have just a burial outside, social distancing, mask and everything, and it had to be very brief. So we didn't really get to say goodbye to them the way that we would have liked to. But yeah, it was a beautiful day, but it was hard.
Ebony Hunter, it always sounds so hollow to say I'm sorry for your loss, but it's hard to know what else to say. I wish you peace in the days ahead and for you and your family.
Thank you so much. And we just wanted to say thank you to everybody who donated to our GoFundMe because that's how we were able to bury them because we didn't have the money right away. And people from all over the place showed up and donated, and because of them, we were able to do that. So
Wow.
thank you.
So you put up a GoFundMe and people donated, and that's how you were able to have the funeral.
Yes,
Wow.
so many people did. It touched so many people, even some people we went to high school with and elementary. Everybody, I don't know how it got around. My brother's kind of a social media guy, but it got around and we were able to get the money to pay for the burial because we did not have that. So just say thank you. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We gave them a beautiful burial.
Well, they sound like just lovely parents and a great couple, and I'm thank you for sharing them with us.
Thank you.
Ebony Hunter. We'll be right back.
Wherever you are in the world, Lotte is always close to you. Lotte will be with you throughout the world until the name Lotte is synonymous with friendship. Your lifetime friend, Lotte.
We knew it was coming. The signs were all there. We knew we had to change, but we didn't. Destroying wild habitats, exploiting wildlife, turning a blind eye. Maybe it would go away. It didn't. It began to bite back. Primates at HIV, civets at SARS, bats and Ebola. COVID-19 is not the first pandemic, and it won't be the last. Unless we deal with the root causes. It's time to stop the wildlife trade and to support compassionate, sustainable farming to protect our planet. Let's change our relationship with nature forever. For all life on Earth.
What you doing?
Oh, just seeing if I can find it.
Find what?
The planet you live on.
Okay. Well, the lens cap's on, so.
I'm Delia Gallagher in Rome, and this is CNN.
too much time on scene. Those are the kids really struggling to get away.
They feel like they won't be able to outrun the war.
They thought the whole border was over. People are just kind of flustered with what they think is going to be a better life. These nurses, these doctors really have nerves of steel.
You can't help but be struck by how interconnected our world is.
Arwa Damon, CNN.
I'm Matthew Chance in London. This is CNN.
Tonight, another rising GOP star and congressional primary winner is facing scrutiny about his past, where he's been, what he's posted, and what he believes in are all coming to question. Biggest controversy involves his visit to Adolf Hitler's retreat. Here's Sunlen Srifati.
25-year-old North Carolina congressional candidate Madison Cawthorn
I welcome increased scrutiny because, I don't have anything to hide.
on the defense over these questionable photos on his Instagram page, showing him in 2017 visiting Adolf Hitler's vacation house in Germany. The site known as the Eagle's Nest is a popular tourist site documenting the horrors of the Nazi regime. In the caption, he calls Hitler the Führer for leader. Cawthorn wrote that a visit had been on his bucket list for a while. It did not disappoint, he wrote. Strange to hear so many laughs and share such a good time with my brother, where only 79 years ago, a supreme evil shared laughs and good times with his compatriots.
There's so many important issues.
His Democratic opponent, Mo Davis, is pouncing, tweeting, Hitler's vacation retreat is not on my bucket list. And in an interview with CNN, stops just short of calling Cawthorn a white nationalist.
I think collectively, when you put all the pieces together, it paints a pretty clear picture of someone that's at least comfortable in that environment.
Davis alleging the Instagram photo is just one of many dog whistles he believes Cawthorn is sending.
The name of his company is SPQR, which is a symbol that's associated with white nationalists.
Cawthorn shooting right back, telling the Charlotte Observer newspaper that the name of his company comes from Rome, and, quote, we can't let extremists on any side hijack or rewrite history because those who don't study history are doomed to repeat it. He has also disavowed racist groups.
As of right now, I completely and wholeheartedly denounce any kind of white nationalism, any kind of Nazism.
And explaining in that 3-year-old photo that he was celebrating victory over the Nazis, emphasizing the Eagle's Nest is a place where the Nazi regime plotted unspeakable acts of evil. And in a statement to CNN, accuses Davis of pushing conspiracy theories and bigotry. His belief that conservatives in his district are guilty of being white supremacists until proven innocent is dangerous to our democracy. His suggestion that I, a man in a wheelchair, would celebrate a regime that would have had me exterminated is offensive to every thinking person in Western North Carolina. Adding to the scrutiny, new questions about Cawthorn's educational claims. Cawthorn's website saying he was nominated to the Naval Academy and his plans were derailed by a car accident that left him paralyzed. But in this deposition related to the accident obtained first by AVL watchdog, Cawthorn admits he was rejected by the Academy before his accident.
I've never said that I was accepted or appointed to the Academy. I knew that I had only been nominated at that point. I fully expected to be accepted and to be appointed, but at that point I hadn't received it.
Since winning a stunning upset primary in June, Cawthorn has captured national attention, dubbed by some as the AOC on the right.
I believe conservatism all boils down to personal responsibility.
And while President Trump didn't back him in the primary, he does now.
The president and I are looking forward to having a very productive working relationship.
Hosting Cawthorn and his fiancée in the Oval Office and in the Trump Hotel.
I got big shoes to fill right here.
And we spoke today to the Anti-Defamation League, and they say that they did not see much merit here to these accusations. They say it's very clear that he made in that Instagram post that he was not sympathizing with the Nazis. And as far as these two other charges made by his opponent, the Betsy Ross flag and the name of his company, they say there's a risk in assuming that any association with either of these things means that a person is an extremist. Now, Anderson, these two candidates will face off in the next few weeks their first debate, where likely they will come face to face about all this back and forth.
So, Mr. Fadi, thanks so much. The news continues. I want to hand it over to Don Lemon for CNN Tonight.
This is CNN Tonight. I'm Don Lemon. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Every single day, another lie, another conspiracy theory, another racist
Every single day.
dog whistle. Every day.
Every day.
It's like the Groundhog's Day for
colonized day.
Alternative realities.
Alternative reality.
It is clear that this president will stop at nothing to try to win re-election, using everything at his disposal to achieve his goal. I'm going to walk you through this and tell you everything that he's doing. He's using the podium in the White House briefing room that you pay for to lie to you. And he is starting with birtherism. Can you believe it? Is it 2011 all over again? What is going on? Birtherism now against Kamala Harris, Joe Biden's vice presidential nominee, who is a black woman. Does that ring a bell to you? At his briefing, he was asked about a completely discredited op-ed in Newsweek, questioning Harris's eligibility to be Joe Biden's running mate, and questioning where she was born. And not surprisingly, it was retweeted by a lawyer for the Trump campaign.
So I heard it today that she doesn't meet the requirements. And by the way, the lawyer that wrote that piece is a very highly qualified, very talented lawyer. I have no idea if that's right. I would have assumed the Democrats would have checked that out before she gets chosen to run for vice president. But that's a very serious. You're saying that they're saying that she doesn't qualify because she wasn't born in this country.
This man is so full of it, y'all. Come on. He knows better than that. He's the president of the United States. Shouldn't he have a modicum of decency and class and just say that, look, come on, let's talk about something real. A lot of people have died from the coronavirus. That's serious. Kamala Harris is on the vice presidential ticket. Move along. No, he's got to go for these racist dog whistles. Birtherism, not even a dog whistle, birtherism. Again, people, I have a debate with myself about this every time one of these dumb, stupid conspiracy theory, QAnon, whatever it is. I have a debate with myself all the time as someone who is responsible for these hours right here on CNN, for this platform. All the time, when faced with this ugliness and this disgusting sort of display from the president, do I want to use this time that I am given, gratefully, I'm so grateful for it, to be able to talk to you, to amplify and allow this man and his apologists and minions to spread garbage like this? And the answer that I come up with is no. I don't. But then I ask myself, what is the alternative? Is it to let it go, let the ugliness go unchallenged, let more hate and more garbage seep into the seams that are barely holding this country together already? Should I give it light, or do I just ignore it because it's so ridiculous? And that's exactly what they want, is to elevate it so people are talking about it, and therefore it becomes real if you say it enough, and then it taints and it stains someone in a way that they shouldn't be stained or tainted. It's a struggle. It really is. The struggle is real. I want you to know I don't repeat what this president said about this lightly. I hate to even read his tweets on the air because they are so ridiculous. I don't even follow him on Twitter anymore because his Twitter feed, what he puts out, is so toxic. It's just ridiculous. A white man questioning a black woman's birthplace in America in 2020. No other words but disgusting, racist, and purposely so. So, for the record, everyone, I'm going to say this once, don't know if I'm going to cover it again, but for the record, to get this out of the way, Kamala Harris was born in California, 1964, to immigrant parents. That's why he is planting this ugly question in people's minds, that she's a daughter of immigrants. Here's why it's even more disturbing. Same dirty, racist tactic he used to try to derail Barack Obama.
I want him to show his birth certificate. There's something on that birth certificate that he doesn't like. People have birth certificates. He doesn't have a birth certificate. Now, he may have one, but there's something on that birth, maybe religion, maybe it says he's a Muslim, I don't know. And if he wasn't born in this country, which is a real possibility, I'm not saying it happened, I'm saying it's a real possibility. A lot of people do not think it was an authentic certificate. Many people do not think it was authentic. His mother was not in the hospital. There were many other things that came out. President Barack Obama was born in the United States, period.
So ridiculous, and you fell for it. And he always, whenever he asks a question, I don't know, or many people say, that is the clue. And as we know, Trump's already using misogynistic words against Harris, calling her nasty and mean, and then ramping up his attacks on her this morning in a TV interview. Here it is.
Now you have a sort of a mad woman, I call her, because she was so angry.
Mad woman. Okay, so here's, Kamala Harris is a member of the Senate, junior senator from California. Will any of her colleagues have the decency to stand up to Trump's birtherism attack against her? Will any of them? Surely lawmakers, upstanding American lawmakers, would have the decency to stand up for her, right? Okay, so let me tell you this. My producers spent the evening reaching out to all 53 of Senator Kamala Harris's Republican colleagues in the Senate. Remember, they are co-workers right now. You know how many we heard back from? I'll let you guess at home. One. Senator John Kennedy of my home state of Louisiana. His team was polite, said that they hadn't heard about the story until we reached out. Didn't have anything to share. That's it. Hadn't heard about it, even though there's a press conference, was asked about it, right? Even if you hadn't heard, wouldn't you have a better answer than that? The other 52 didn't respond at all. Their silence speaks volumes. Their silence is complicit. But you know, they are very busy right now, not working on a coronavirus relief package, now that the Senate has adjourned and Congress has gone home. They're so busy because, you know, they couldn't get back to say we're busy working for the American people. Trump is also no longer hiding his attempts to interfere with the U.S. Postal Service. This is very important, people. Not hiding that he's trying to interfere with the Postal Service to block and derail mail-in voting. Outright admitting, I didn't say allegedly because he admitted it today. Outright admitting what we all know. He is starving funding for the Postal Service because he doesn't want to see it used for mail-in voting this November.
One of the reasons the post office needs that much money is to have all of these millions of ballots coming in from nowhere, and nobody knows from where and where they're going. They want $3.5 billion just for the ballots themselves. Why it's so much, I don't know, but that's what the Democrats want. But if the bill isn't going to get done, that would mean the post office isn't going to get funded, and that would also mean that the $3.5 billion isn't going to be taken care of. So I don't know how you could possibly use these ballots, these mail-in ballots. They would need a lot more money if they're going to be taking in tens of millions of ballots that just come out of the sky from nowhere.
Tens of millions of ballots out of the sky from nowhere. That was like all the people who legal, as they say, or undocumented immigrants who voted for Hillary Clinton. That was never proven. Tens of millions of ballots out of the sky from nowhere. It would be ridiculous if it wasn't ghastly and stupid. The coronavirus pandemic has led to record levels of mail-in voting because, guess what? Millions of Americans are rightly concerned about having to cast a ballot in person. But Trump's putting it right out there for you to see.
Now, if we don't make a deal, that means they don't get the money. That means they can't have universal mail-in voting. They just can't have it.
It wasn't like, oh, oops, I said the quiet part out loud. He said it. Said it. Joe Biden called out Trump today for his phony theory about voting by mail. Hit the nail right on the head.
President Trump thinks you guys, my guys, is asking for the postal service telling us we have voting. What do you think about that?
Pure Trump.
Okay, guys, let's go. Let's go. Come on.
He doesn't want an election.
Doesn't want an election. And get a load of what President Trump said today about Biden. You have to listen to this. What he said about Biden in the pandemic.
Today we saw Joe Biden continue to politicize a pandemic and to show his appalling lack of respect for the American people. That's what it is. At every turn, Biden has been wrong about the virus, ignoring the scientific evidence and putting left-wing politics before facts and evidence.
Go on, y'all, really? Laughable. Biden is ignoring scientific evidence? Seriously? From the man who is turning a blind eye to the deadly virus since day one? Remember, it'll just go away. Really? As of tonight, this disease has killed more than 167,000 Americans. So as I like to say, roll it.
We have it under control. It's going to be just fine. We think we have it very well under control. We have very little problem in this country at this moment, 5. And those people are all recuperating successfully. By April, you know, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. The coronavirus, which is very well under control in our country. We're going down, not up. We're going very substantially down, not up. When you have 15 people, and the 15 within a couple of days is going to be down to close to 0, that's a pretty good job we've done. We're doing a great job with it, and it will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. Some of the doctors say it will wash through. It will flow through. Very accurate. I think you're going to find in a number of weeks. The FDA also gave emergency authorization for hydroxychloroquine. And I say it. What do you have to lose? I'll say it again. What do you have to lose? Take it. It will be wonderful. It'll be so beautiful. It'll be a gift from heaven if it works. I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too. Sounds interesting. Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that? By injection inside or almost a cleaning, because you see it gets on the lungs.
How stupid does he think you are? Don't fall for the okie doke, people. Everything I said there was true. Everything. I just put his words on TV. Just played them back for you. That's it. Caitlin Collins is our White House correspondent, and our resident fact checker is Daniel Dale. They both join me. Good evening to both of you, Caitlin. So, this president attacks voting by mail, but CNN is confirming that President Trump and the First Lady, Melania Trump, requested mail-in ballots. What do you know?
Yes, they have, and those ballots have been mailed to Mar-a-Lago, which is, of course, is their Florida residence since they've moved from New York to Florida. And this is something that the president has had to wrestle with as he's attacked mail-in voting, because he votes by mail, and he has ever since he's been in the White House. Several of his top aides have, his own family members, these very people, and you can see there the information. Donald Trump, Melania Trump getting their ballots so they can vote by mail in the November election. And this is what the president has said. He said it today. I think he summed it up really, briefly, saying that he believes absentee voting is good and mail-in voting is very, very bad. Those were the words he used. And you heard that, secretaries of state had said there's essentially no difference in it. There are some states where you have to request your ballot. We've seen several states now, because of the pandemic, say they are mailing ballots to all registered voters in their states, including D.C. And so that's something the president has wrestled with, defending the fact that he is voting by mail when all of the significance of it is the same. The barcode, the fact that you can track it, all of the mechanics of it are exactly the same as doing absentee voting.
Daniel, I don't even know what to say. President Trump, he keeps pointing to examples of voter fraud that aren't really examples of voter fraud. The evidence just isn't there, Daniel.
It's not there, Don. Every expert says all the evidence shows that fraud is exceedingly rare, whether it's in-person voting or mail voting. The president this evening at his so-called news conference cited the example of a New York Democratic primary involving Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney. There's no evidence of fraud in that race. They did have some issues with things like missing signatures on ballots.
오늘은 여기까지만 하겠습니다.
But that is not fraud.
힘들어.
This morning he did an interview on Fox Business in which he cited legal settlement in which California, he claimed, admitted to